Hello. Look, I've got books. So exciting. I was so excited for today's live stream that I dressed up wearing a polo shirt. Actually, typically in the early mornings, I just grab whatever clothing I can find. So I'm wearing my polo from yesterday until it's actually time to get ready for the day. Check this out. I've got about 150, actually older than that, 175-year-old Methodist hymnal. Got about 700 hymns from Charles Wesley in here. And then what's cool is that if you learn all the meters, some of you have, you remember me talking about this long ago, you can sing any song you know as long as you know the meter of the song. So there's long meter, there's common meter. Let's see here. Let's look at the Day Improved. I will sing it to the tune of Gilligan's Island. This day the Lord hath called his own, let us his praise declare. Fix our desires on him alone, and seek his face with prayer. Lord, in thy love we would rejoice, which sets the sinner free, and with united heart and voice, devote these hours to thee. So it's kind of fun. You can just go through here, and I need to remember all my other songs I know that are the different short meter and long meter. I know Blessed Be the Tide That Binds is one of the hymns I know that's in one of those meters. I think that's short meter. I'll have to try it out. All right. Somewhere in this Bible is wherever we're supposed to be tonight. Today, this morning. There we go. I know what time of day it is. And where did we get to? Oh, I think we made it down to verse 12. So we're in Genesis 29, verse 13. It says, Then it came to pass when Laban heard the report of Jacob his sister's son, he ran to meet him, he embraced him and kissed him, and he brought him into his house. So he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely you are my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what should be your wages, or what should your wages be? And now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel's were beautiful of form and appearance. Now, the name Leah means weary. Just, in case you were curious about that. Her eyes were delicate, and the word is literally weak. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but now Jacob loved Rachel. And he said, I will serve you 7 years for the Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban says, It is better I give her to you, that I should give her to another man. Stay with me. So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because of the love he had for her. Oh, all right. So we see the beginning of the story of Leah and Rachel, and Jacob's 7 years of service in order to marry Rachel. Now, I think most of us kind of know where that story's headed, but really emphasizing that last verse that we read, it seemed like nothing. In fact, I shut my Bible. Maybe I'll open it back up so I can say it just right. Verse 20, it seemed only a few days to him. 7 years. It only seemed but a few days. It's really true that time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're doing the things you love. Quite often, when we are full of the Spirit, full of God's joy, and we're in a good place spiritually, an hour of prayer can just fly by. And serving the Lord can be joyous, and the time just disappears because there's joy in what you're doing, and you have your mind, your eyes, and your heart all set on the thing that's in front of you. This is something that should be really just a test for us. It's something that helps us examine our own hearts and just think about where we're at, because when things seem to drag on, oftentimes it's not because the task is so unbearable. It's oftentimes because I have the wrong heart about the task. That when serving, when loving, when obeying feels like a drag, and it drags on and on, it's probably a me problem. And it's a good reminder to always be checking our hearts continually. In Hebrews, where we're warned to not let in, to be watching that lest a root of bitterness come in. Because that's the thing, is it's those little roots of bitterness. It's those little attitudes. Quite often, they go unchecked. And our attitude, and it says there in Hebrews 12, that many would become defiled by it. That I've got a heart problem. But of course, I don't have a heart problem. Really, it's the job I'm doing that's the issue. Or it's the person who put me in this job is the issue. And that heart problem can spread because quite often, when you're around irritated people, you become irritated. And at the same time, when we serve with joy, when we serve with love, it's when I have joy. And I'm not going to get it by telling myself you have to serve with joy. Serve with joy. You need to be happy doing that. No, it's really, I just need to figure out what happened to my joy. I need to go back and find it. And the biggest thing for all Christians to do is to remember who you are serving for. Jacob had Rachel. He had the woman of his dreams. And thinking of Rachel, it made hanging out with a bunch of dirty sheep not that big of a deal. And so it doesn't matter what your task is. It doesn't matter what your calling is. It doesn't matter what your location, your place, and all those situations are. Do you have your eyes on the one whom you love? And in all the things you're doing, part of the process that lets you be with him. That you're longing because you've got a season. There's a season in which you're going to work, but the night is coming in which no man can work, right? There's a season where we have the opportunity to work for him. But the time is going to come when that opportunity will go away. And so, is the time flying or is the time dragging? It has nothing to do with the task. It has everything to do with our hearts. And it's not always fun thinking about it. But if we want to get to the heart of our problems, then we need to deal with the problem of our hearts. And so, there you go. Is the time flying? Are you just excited to be serving Jesus because you get to be with Jesus? Or, are things kind of dragging on a little bit? Well, again, just spend time with him. Seek him. Figure out what happened to your first love. Remember, how much God has done for you. Remember how far God has taken you. Spend more time praying thanksgiving than praying all of those petitions that you need to pray. Thanking God for all that you have, for your kids, for your spouse, for your home, for your health, for your all those things. And you'll remember, man, you got a lot of good going on in your life. So, here's to letting time fly. I will close with a hymn. Bright was the guiding star that led with mild, benignant ray. Benignant, that's new for me. The Gentiles to the lowly shed where the Redeemer lay. But lo, the Scriptures' clearer light now point to his abode. It shines through sin and sorrow's night to guide us to our God. Oh, let us tread the narrow path while light and grace are given, and thus escape the coming wrath and reign with him in heaven. Gotta love the Wesley brothers. All right, you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow, 7:30. Cheers.